Ahoy, boys and girls, and all aboard the good boat Sleepy Time. Welcome to this rendition of Bedtime Theater. Tonight I'm your host and reader, and also the author of the book we're reading tonight. Barely Balanced, The Adventure Begins. A smashing good read, if I say so myself. So get yourselves tucked in, get your cravats well plumped and ready, and let's dive in to Chapter 7, Bully. If you haven't been tuning in so far, where we've at this point is we have journeyed on a quest to save my baby sister from another dimension and world filled with fairies and magic. To get to this other world, we've teamed up. I've joined forces with Small, an amazing lady who works for a zoo and is a dragon tamer. We rode her dragon to the top of a mountain after I had to face some rather nasty bandits. Atop this mountain, we found the entryway to the dwarves, and we met a gigantic, strange man. And here we are, about to meet him and see where our paths lead. Chapter 7. Here we go. The big man stood there atop the windswept mountain, staring down at me. Back when I was running from, fighting the butter-faced ladies, the words rushed out of me, scorn encased my voice like an itchy sweater as I thrust an accusing finger in the big man's face. You yellow-bellied slug! You totally left me on my own to fight those bandits! The big man pointed an even bigger finger at me. Well, you ran like a startled chicken. I can't help it if the ladies are always chasing me. Small gagged noisily, and the big man waved his empty hands. And I can't help it that I didn't have a sword, and they did. Giant rusty ones. And, I added, they were grosser than a gnome's backside. The big fella's long face suddenly split into a grin. I thought that skinny one was a dude with how thick her mustache was. Maybe the dwarves would let her in, I chuckled. Laughter exploded from our mouths, and I knew I was supposed to be angry at this guy, but I couldn't stop the smile that overtook my face. After a few moments, I raised my fist, and we bumped knuckles. He was all right. And here we see a picture of the butter-faced bandits. Oh, those gross ladies that attacked us. Great. Small shook her head. You're both comrades in cowardice. So, big fella, what's the deal with these dwarfs? They're not letting anyone in. The big guy shrugged his backpack off and took a swig of water from a canteen. He handed it over to me, and I gladly took a pull. And even though these dwarves are driving me crazy, the tall man shouted at the door, a peephole slid open and a dwarf leaned out. Get off our lawn! The tall man turned back to us with a smile. It's nice to meet you two. He held out his massive hand. I'm large. What? I spit water into his face. He was named after a size too? It was destiny. I'm medium, and this luscious lady here is the love of my life, Small. Small ignored me and handed Large a towel. Sorry about that. We're still housebreaking him. It's a pleasure to meet you. So, is Large a nickname because of your size? Yeah, my real name is Largicus, but everyone calls me Large for short, even though it means big. He chuckled nervously. You see, it's ironic, because I'm the runt of the litter. What? This guy was at least a full head taller than me. Seriously? Small sputtered. You're huge. Well, I'm wearing pretty thick-soled shoes. Large held out a boot displaying its inch-thick sole that bumped his height up to well over 6.5 feet tall. We're a small people in Wisconsinshire, but we try hard for a humble folk. I, obviously, am the smallest of them. My mouth hung open. I couldn't imagine the people that would make this towering gentleman look like a runt. Small, however, was enthroned. Or perhaps she just handled the unknown by asking questions until she understood it. "You first saw Medium down in the forest?" Small asked. Large gave a quick nod. "Then," Small continued, "how did you get up here before him?" "I took the elevator." Large gestured over his shoulder to a platform attached to ropes and heavy weights. "Why didn't I think of that? I really need to get better at planning." I shook my head. I'd plan to plan later. Right now, I wanted to get in on this game of 20 questions. "Why are you up here?" Large stared off, a deep frown overtaking his face. On him, it looked as unnatural as a bear juggling. He pawed at his chest until his hand rested upon a tattoo encircling his shoulders. "I've lost friends, honor, my family's name. There's been mistakes, and I won't let it happen again." He flushed, and a smile returned to his face. "This great meeting shouldn't be ruined with such dark thoughts, especially when we are in the place of legends. All my life, I've dreamed of the dwarves, heard endless stories of them. I know that they can craft me a true warrior's sword, so I can become a hero." Large jumped to his feet and struck several different flexing poses. I'd hate to be the invisible ball that was in the process of mime crushing. He continued to strike poses while explaining. "I know that with a true hero's sword, I would be brave. And now, I also have companions to join my quest." "Wait a second, Tall Trousers. We're not joining your quest." Small pointed at me. "I'm just getting Medium to the dwarves." Large's shoulders dropped. "Oh?" "Cheer up, there's no reason Medium can't tag along with you." She cupped a hand to Large's ear, but whispered loudly, "He could use the help." Yeah. Laugh all you want, you vivacious Valkyrie of my heart. Maybe this big guy could become a heroic warrior. That would be super useful on my journey. I just had to sweeten the deal to make sure that Large joined us. "I need to get a sword from the dwarves too," I said cheerfully. "Yes!" The big guy almost bounced with excitement. He was like a giant puppy. It was hard not to smile around him. "Though I only needed to split the veil between this world and that of the Fae. After that, the sword could be all yours." I mimed handing it over. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to wield it while I continue my quest, battle through a land of magical monsters, and attempt to rescue a fair young maiden. I let the words hang. Large shuffled forwards. He twirled the pretend sword. "Rescue a young maiden?" "Very young." I nodded. Small chortled. She knew what I was up to. "And oh, the battles!" I opened my arms wide and stared off wistfully. "They will be the stuff of fables. But I have no skill with a sword, so it'll be useless to me. You may as well take it before we split ways. I'm sure I'll be okay without it." "Well," Large scratched his thick curly hair, "it would be unheroic of me to let you face another danger alone, especially if I had a sword." And here we see Large going through all of his flexing as he imagines becoming a hero. "True," I nodded, "though I'm sure you have other maidens to save." Large quickly shook his head in the negative before he caught himself. "I don't, as of this moment. My mind is made up. I will join you for as long as you walk the hero's path." "Great!" I jumped to my feet. Now if we just knew someone that was gorgeous and completely brilliant. Someone who could get us in to see the dwarves and then create a scheme to rescue my baby sister. The fair maiden's a child? Large asked. Yeah, she's just an infant. Large smiled even broader. Excellent. She'll be easier to carry. Small guffawed. You two are ridiculous. I guess I'll get you to the dwarves, and we can go from there. After all, you have been entertaining. I stood there, a little straighter, and marched towards the door, trying to turn my faint limp into a distinct swagger. Really entertaining, Small called after me, like a trained monkey. And that's the end of Chapter 7. Will the new team be able to become a true force fighting to save my baby sister? Or will something drive a wedge between us? Will we get the dwarves to listen to our plea for help to make us the mightiest weapon? A weapon so sharp we can cut through the veil between our world and the world of the fairies. Tune in next time to find out in the next installment of Barely Balanced Bedtime Theater. Sleep tight